Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim-Nacker, and just want to share with you some of the top stories that we're following this morning. Starting with this developing story, this investigation still underway right now in Gwinnett County, specifically the Stone Mountain area, because that is where a man was shot and killed in the parking lot of an Applebee's restaurant. My colleague, Atlanta News First reporter Madeline Montgomery, has more.
That's right. Police say that happened right here in the parking lot in between the Applebee's and the O'Reilly's Auto Parts over here on Stone Mountain Highway. And you can see right now, actually, Gwinnett County police are out here collecting more evidence, trying to figure out what exactly happened here last night. And they tell Atlanta News First that they got a 911 call at 10:30 of a person shot. And by the time they got here, along with Gwinnett County Fire, they found a man who was in bad condition, and they were able to rush him to the hospital, but sadly he died from his injuries. And so police are looking into exactly what happened here that led to the shooting. They believe that the victim and the shooter may have actually been shooting at one another. Here's what officers say about how they're investigating this case.
Our detectives are going business to business looking for any kind of surveillance camera footage that might be helpful in this investigation. The original 911 call came in from a passerby who was in the parking lot, who then notified us, and we're looking to see if he or she has any valuable information about this homicide.
At this time, there's actually no evidence that the man was a patron of the Applebee's, and so police are still figuring out why exactly he was here in this parking lot. Of course, if you know anything, you're asked to reach out to Gwinnett County detectives, or you can even do an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers, and you could get a cash reward if you help police make an arrest. Reporting in Stone Mountain, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
And also, we are following the latest out of Henry County. Still so many questions remaining about that mass shooting that happened there. 4 people were killed, 3 officers were hurt. A suspect is dead after this mass shooting in Hampton over the weekend. We do have a positive update, though. One of the officers who was injured during a shootout with the suspect is now out of surgery, thankfully. The Henry County Sheriff saying that Corporal Daniel Podsiadly was resting comfortably. The 2 Clayton County police officers who were injured also recovering as well. But this is a story that we are going to continue to follow here on Atlanta News First Plus. Also happening today, loved ones planning to say a final goodbye to a father who was shot and killed 2 weekends ago in Atlanta's Pittsburgh neighborhood. My colleague, Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm, has more.
The funeral is scheduled for 1 o'clock this afternoon here at Living Faith Tabernacle Church off Old Dixie Highway. Tovis Raines Jr. was 29 years old. He had 2 sons, ages 12 and 3. His family members tell us he was about to start a new job, but he never got the chance. They say he was at a home in the Pittsburgh neighborhood of Southwest Atlanta early in the morning of July 9th when someone started shooting. Family members tell us he did nothing wrong, that he was an innocent bystander and not the intended target. Police tell us he was shot multiple times and died on the scene. Loved ones held a vigil a few days later, releasing balloons in Raines' memory.
We just want justice. We are a praying family, and although we have faith, we just want vindication for my nephew, for my sister's firstborn and only son.
At last check, Atlanta police did not have a suspect. If you have any information that might help detectives find the killer, you're asked to give them a call. You can also remain anonymous by contacting Crime Stoppers. In Forest Park, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
Also wanted to let you know that the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, is visiting Georgia today. Dr. Biden and Education Secretary Miguel Cardona will be in Augusta, and they're expected to talk about President Biden's current economic plan. So obviously that'll have an impact, and it's something that we are going to follow. Also want to let you know that we are following the latest on the forecast. As you can see, it's kind of gray out there. Not sure exactly what that means, but you know, meteorologist Rodney Harris is keeping an eye on it. What does that mean? Why is it so kind of gray out there? What is that?
So that's what we call haze and even smoke, which it's interesting, Joy, because we typically get haze in the summertime here in Metro Atlanta, but this particular haze is associated with the wildfires from Canada, which has happened already this summer. Our winds are set up in a way where they're really fast as you go higher up at the level where planes fly, and that strong wind is dragging that smoke basically down this far south. And that's why you see what really is a mostly sunny day, but it's hard to tell because of that haze and smoke that's in the air. So with that being said, we do have an air quality alert that's in effect for today. You saw this yesterday too, so this is not a big surprise, but it's a code orange. So for those of you who have lung issues or asthma, just make sure to give yourself or really try to avoid being outdoors if you can during the afternoon when it's super hot outdoors. Try to limit your exposure outside. Okay, so getting past that air quality alert, also want to talk about the heat because that, of course, has been the ongoing story. Our high today is 94, but as you go further west and southwest, all that pink that you see, those are triple-digit highs, which will continue from Texas all the way back toward Arizona. I still can't believe that 117 for a high today in Phoenix. That's super, super hot. So, again, we've talked about this before, but this is a ridge of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that's building in from the south. It's really been impacting the south all summer, and this is normal. It's normal to see these high pressure upper level highs impact the south in the summer, which is one of the reasons why it's so hot. The exact configuration of the ridge will change throughout the summer, and right now it's positioned to where the center, the strongest part of the ridge of the high, remains over the southwestern U.S., so that's why they're seeing all that heat out there. At the same time, those arrows that you see around the ridge, we have storm systems that continue to impact the U.S. Those storm systems aren't going to run into that ridge because it's too strong, so what they do is they stay outside of the ridge, and if you can look carefully, you'll see where those arrows basically go right into Georgia. So because we're still sort of on the outer fringes of the ridge, we will be looking at a couple of storm systems that will actually make it into North Georgia around that ridge. So the first will happen tonight. For much of the day today, it will stay dry, but notice by 10 o'clock, we do have a wave of rain and even some storms moving into far northwest Georgia. That's going to dissipate as it moves south and east, but it will hold together long enough to produce rain for us in Metro Atlanta overnight. We believe that this will happen while most of us are asleep, so it's something that could wake you up, or it could wake the pets up. Just watch out for that. But again, this should be overnight rain. Then that will move through, and it should be dry by the time you drive to work on Wednesday. Now, our models are also showing what may be additional waves of rain throughout the day on Wednesday. So what we have done as a result of that is increase your rain chances for Wednesday as well. So today your high is 94 with only a 20% chance of a shower maybe this evening. But Wednesday we dropped the high down. We brought it down to 91 to account for at least the potential of some scattered rain throughout the day. To be honest, what we'll have to do is once this first wave of rain moves in overnight, that will determine how strong and when the second wave will move through on Wednesday. So honestly, it's tough to know exactly when that rain will happen on Wednesday, but because that potential is there, we decided to increase the rain chances to 50% and drop that high down to 91. Thursday, that ridge, that high pressure will basically be at its strongest in North Georgia, so we've lowered the rain chance to 30% on Thursday. But the high is 96 degrees, and it'll feel more like 100 plus. So Thursday's the hottest day of the week by far, maybe the hottest day of the year. Friday into Saturday, we have a cold front that will move through, and that's why your rain chances are back up to 40%, really for Friday evening, continuing through Saturday. At some point Saturday, some dry air will move in behind that front, and that will make for a really nice Saturday night and a really nice Sunday. Sunday will be a dry day with lower humidity. That will continue into the beginning of next week. So we do have a couple of days where the weather will be relatively nice. Again, the end of the weekend going into the beginning of next week, but a lot is happening until then. Hazy today with an air quality alert, rain overnight, more rain potentially on Wednesday, and then super hot on Thursday. So First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez is tracking your latest forecast. She's working on your updated forecast right now, and she will have the latest on Atlanta News First at noon. Until then, we hope that everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday, and until next time, we'll see you soon.